Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Current Affairs show on Radio Apni Was. Current Affairs discusses issues and news stories that affect you and affect everyone. So we were talking about before the break. We were talking about the uh, the attacks, not the attacks, but there's a
I think,
arrest.
I think so there's been three people being convicted of uh, terrorist attack basically. I think he hasn't been described as that in the media. There hasn't been a major uproar, but these guys had the potential of killing a lot of people. So that's why I need to repeat. Was it the race and religion was not mentioned? I'll mention it anyway. So these people were neo-Nazi. So that's another thing that this country is opposed to. This country fought against the Nazis,
Yeah,
right? So this country actually fought against the Nazis, but furthermore, these people planned on killing Muslims and actually Jewish people because they were planning on attacking some mosques, Islamic organizations, and even synagogues. So these are serious individuals who they've been described as men and whatnot. But these people are, I'll put it quite bluntly, they're white. In actual fact, they're pale. There's no such thing as white, but they're white Christian extremists. You know, going by the names, they do sound of a Christianized nature. But these people planned on killing a lot of people. They had over 200 weapons. You know, we're not talking about one weapon. You know, if you have one gun, you get sentenced for 7 8 years, whatever. We're talking about many weapons, and you know, I'll be surprised if these guys don't get 100 years each. To be honest with you, because the amount of potential they had in killing innocent people was very high.
so you'll hear, we bring you stories which maybe don't make the headlines.
Yeah, no, this story it did not make the headlines. You know, they probably did talk about it once. That's about it. But when you see the repeat in headlines, and if that individual, should we say call them individuals, if these people were Muslim or even were Pakistani heritage, it'll be in the news day and night. You would have known about this.
Yeah.
I'll say a lot of people don't know about this, so that's why hopefully we're here to let people know what is happening. You know, people need to be mindful of the rise in far right extremism.
Yeah, so obviously this is really bad news. There's people out there that can do harm to our community, the community cohesion, community harmony, that people have lived together in peace. And but the thing is, it only takes a handful. Um, you know, the but what we are noticing is there's a rise. So it's not just a few individuals. Yesterday, yesterday, I think thousands. There was probably 4,000 people that marched through Birmingham, and you know what they are peddling is anti-immigration, anti-Islam. They believe that Islam or Muslims are taking over the country. They have, God knows where they get these ideas from, but it's a lie. It's basically these lies. If they are repeated, I think it was somebody said, if you repeat a lie, then people believe it.
Yeah, and that's what the media do.
That's what the media do, yeah.
keeps repeating, these other people. So if there's Islamists, or which is wrong, they should not be planning on attacking our country because then we're living here, But they should be dealt with by the law, and the media should report it properly. Likewise, when a Christian individuals commit these crimes, that should be reported properly, and everybody should be made aware of it as equally as that. Especially targeting minorities, is not fair, is not just. You know, because anybody can target minorities in their communities. If you look throughout the world, the amount of minorities that get attacked, or where the leaders attack their minorities is very very high all around the world. You know, if you know, going after a minority group, such as the Muslim group, or even the Jewish group, you know, who mainly make up 4%, 5% of the United Kingdom. You know, this is really really strange to see, and you know, Keir Starmer should do more. I think at the moment he's pandering to the far right extremists. I think that's why he thinks he lies so much. He's willing to do anything to say things just to win an election.
You're absolutely right. I mean, wasn't that the same policy that the French President Macron did when he started pandering to the far right? They actually started winning more seats and winning the election. So the thing is, Keir Starmer, you know, he's repeated what Enoch Powell said, which is that we are becoming strangers in our own lands. I mean, what do you mean by that? I mean, people have been living here in peace, and you know, they built this country. The immigrants built this country when they after the Second World War. They built, and it was, you know, the people that have created the problems are these same political parties. So conservatives when they won the election in the 80s, they closed down the mills, they closed down the mining fields, and people were led to joblessness. And now you have a situation where there's basically no industrial base left in the UK. Only the service sector is here, and you know, we can't blame immigrants for doing that. This is a problem that has been created by the elite and the political class. The ruling class has wanted to save money, make money, so they offshored all the work to where they found cheaper labor, and they were able to make more profits. So it's profits over profits were the main reason for moving out from this country. The car making is no longer you know, is in the hands of the British.
I think I'll probably just mention, when there's economic factors play, there is normally a rise in extremism. There's a normally rise in attacks on minorities throughout the world. You see this. They have to blame someone. So the politicians can't blame themselves. They have to blame the minorities. But the people, what you need to know is the people around them. Some of them are from ethnic minority backgrounds. And why don't they say anything? You know, Shabana Mahmood, a couple of other high-profile, even our local Labour MPs, you know, who come from these stranger backgrounds, like Nasha or Imran Hussain, and the many others. People have raised issue with this, but they need to oppose this, or else this is going to carry on. They haven't fully, unequivocally opposed Keir Starmer on the Gaza war. Are they going to do it on these matters? Probably not. So I think hopefully, you know, we need good leadership in all sectors. People who represent us, they have their own issues. You know, I don't know if they want to build up their careers, or you know, they need to tell Keir Starmer, this is a wrong what you said, right? Somebody needs to tell him this. If nobody tells him, then he's going to carry on.
Absolutely, but I think, like we said before, you know, it's like the political class. They want to blame somebody else. The elites, they want a scapegoat. So they obviously you can expect it from the far right to blame the immigrants. Now, Keir Starmer is head of the Labour Party, which is basically in power. You don't expect him to say, we are going to find ourselves strangers in our own country, and that's quoting from
Enoch Powell, yeah.
Enoch Powell and the far right. Uh, Even though he said
And
that,
he's the Enoch Powell is the person who the British people rejected.
yeah,
So at that time, the Muslims or ethnic minorities were in an extreme minority, and what do you call it? Even the people opposed him. That this guy was talking about, especially when they've recently just come out of a war where they could have lost if it wasn't for the British Indians, many who were Muslims who came from all parts of what currently is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. These people fought for Britain, and they actually were the biggest volunteer forces in the world. So if it wasn't for them, things may have been a lot different.
yeah. So the lines are open. Everybody listening, 01274 271 786 or 787 is our number. Ring in and share your comments and thoughts. We're discussing about the far right extremism and what is the solution. Are the main two or three for mainstream parties, mainstream media, and we're talking about that. I just want to cover now why is this happening? Why is there a two-tier policy? The far right says it's against us, and obviously we know it's that that policy is could be designed either way, and I don't think after the Southport the rioting that took place, I think the sentences were too lenient on the rioters. There should have been total lesson not to attack the police, not to attack mosques, and not to attack vulnerable communities, hotels which were housing immigrants or asylum seekers. So what we're seeing is the Labour Party, which is now pandering to the far right. What on earth is that? How is that going to help this kind of a community cohesion? How is that going to help?
Yeah,
that?
basically, it's not going to help. I don't think Keir Starmer's bothered if it's going to help or not.
No.
He's not bothered. The main thing he's bothered about is winning elections, and he won an election with a massive landslide, right? By taking votes from all areas, including the centrist and far right. And obviously, he said he's going to do loads of things with immigration and with the economy. And has that materialized? No, it hasn't. But I think we've got consecutive weak governments with similar ideology, whether that's Conservative or Labour, and their policies are, as you can see, changing to become more extreme, more right wing than ever.
Yeah, so that's what you can expect in the future.
So in the future, things are a little difficult, and I know a lot of people, British Muslims, are actually moving out of United Kingdom, maybe for work reasons as well, but they prefer an environment where they are treated as equals, not as someone who are treated as different. So our work or home, they need to be people need to be treated equal. They need to have equal rights. They cannot be just subjugated or put into a box where they are classed as a Pakistani group. They need to decipher. They need to figure out. These people, the British passport holders. Should we call them, Pakistanis, or or what do we call them? What do we call? They need to give us, in other words, more rights. So that they need to get more and more people into uh, high level posts, top sector jobs, and they need to, probably even give grants so there's an equal opportunity for people from that community. Is that going to happen? Definitely no. With the current situation, economic situation, the only thing they bother about is getting people to come to their side, to come to the Labour side, and it's really disgusting to see that we've got so many MPs from ethnic minorities. We've got Zara Sultana who's doing a good job. The independents, MPs, they need to speak out a lot more. Then we've got the MPs within the Labour Party, who apparently they said we're going to do a lot of things within the Labour Party. They haven't done anything. They haven't really helped the Gaza situation or anything. And actually, before I forget, there's a report out that I've taken the article somewhere before, but there's a report out that the Labour Party has sent more weapons within 3 months than because the Conservatives have sent throughout that period. So this was actually a real news that was what do you call people don't know about. So this is real news where the Labour Party are sending more weaponry. So this, so unfortunately, what has our MPs within the, they represent our community. Whether or not we vote for them, or obviously I think people may know my track record, but that's a different thing. But it's still representative, and they should try to represent everyone. And obviously within what they should do is obviously represent their own community. If they don't represent their own communities, there's no point of them being there.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to say. So, we need to stay away from fake news, but the real news is what Labour is doing is very disturbing. And I think that recently there was fake news about China delivering aid to Gaza. I think that was fake news. There's a lot of other fake news going on, but this is counterproductive. You know, nobody's giving anything to the Gaza people. They are being what do you call harassed. That's the smaller thing. The bigger thing is that they got no food or water. Never and the basic needs. They are starving to death, and people need to make the governments more aware of what they're doing is wrong. And thankfully there are people speaking up even in the US, in UK, and thankfully they are coming from people who are non-Muslims. I'll keep telling you this: the non-Muslims are doing a better job than the Muslims in opposing what's happening in Gaza. So we had the founder of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, who actually was arrested, by because he was saying you shouldn't be killing children, you should be sending aid there, and also children are dying in America. Why the children in America are not getting medical aid? So it's really saddening to see that, and people are speaking up. The Muslims need to hopefully unite and speak up. They're not united.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I went to demonstration in March on the Nakba Day in Bradford. I mean, one took place in London as well. The one in Bradford was where the Bradford Four, as they're known, and they tried and they stopped the Teledyne factory. They climbed it and closed it down, and that's basically you've got this situation where arms are being sent through Cyprus, and even Turkey. I mean, the real problem is what kind of world are we living in where you have basically what that is a concentration camp. Gaza, West Bank, they're under the Palestine as it's known. and most of it's occupied, where it's only for designed for settlers to move in. That what we seeing now is like the international world order is being, it's just gone down the drain. The UN has lost its credibility, and the global world order is collapsing in front of us. You see, you see Russia, China, now the BRICS organizations, they were moving away from the dollarization. There's so much happening, and
I think that there's so much happening in the world, but so we hope, obviously, internationally, whatever the US says, the rest of the world does, and even Donald Trump, this is before Donald Trump's time as well. So whatever the US says, and then we can get terrorist organizations, well, formerly terrorist organizations, the HTS, I think it's, what was it called? Was it?
HTS, yeah.
Yeah, HTS.
Hayat.
Yeah, so that organization, obviously, who I don't know much about, that particular organization from terrorists, they become so friendly, and at the moment they are obeying the commands of the United States, and they're doing a good job of it. And he looks good in a suit with that person.
Yeah. Yeah, so closing remarks from us, that's basically Ahmed and myself. We've talked today about different things happening in the world where it looks like a change is happening, and well, don't
It looks
expect
like
too
it,
much.
but it doesn't feel like it, and don't be expecting anything special to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, so we need to discuss an alternative, and inshallah we will try to bring people who have an alternative. And what do you think? You can always call in, and you're more than welcome to participate in our show on the current affairs program. So I'm just finishing off, and inshallah with from Amr and me. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam.